So where do you see, what are your hopes and aspirations to be in 5 years? Like where do you want the company to go? I mean, what's your growth model,
So I'm going to shock you by saying that I don't have a written 5-year plan. And I know every consultant and every, guru out there is going to tell you that that's crazy. But I want to give you my mindset on it. Okay. So, I made my first $1 million before I was 30 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
I was, a multimillionaire in my early 30s already. In 2010, I took my family, my wife and my first two sons, my older sons. We went to Panama, built a home there. We have a beautiful home there. Up until COVID, we've spent most of our time there. If you were watching this video, I'm sitting in our Pennsylvania home. We call it our Pennsylvania country home. You could probably tell from these walls back here. This is a 1850 colonial stone home here in Pennsylvania. So, what I'm describing to you is that I had a lot of, accomplishments, and I have, you can't, if this is audio, you can't see me holding up the quote signs, but, accomplishments, right? That, coming from a just above poor family, I grew up in a household where it was check to check would have been a good scenario, but, we grew up in a household that had very little means. In fact, my parents lost our house, our childhood house we grew up in. We ended up moving kind of from house to house after that, renting, kind of a pressure cooker type home in terms of finance. And, the way I look at it is that I've already made it. So my 5-year plan that ended a long time ago, literally, that's literally how I live my life. Okay. I'm blessed, and I'm in a unique position to where, I could have sold my business interests completely, even with ECF, right? Even before COVID, I was offered a ridiculous amount of money for my business. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do anything. I'm good. I'm good to go. I have, I've got investments. I've got financial instruments. I've got, securities. I've got real estate. I've got business investments. So this is a long answer to a short question, but where do I see myself in the next 5 years? One of the first things I told our new corporate controller when he started just a couple months ago, his name's Mike Ford. He said, well, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Everybody asks the same question. And I said, I see myself right where I am right now, having a good time, enjoying my life, enjoying my family. And I'm going to work hard. Like every week, I'm going to work hard. So I'm going to punch the clock. I'm going to work, and I'm going to do the best that I can do. So that's really what my plan is to live my life and enjoy it with my family and do the best that I can do at work. Now, strategically, do I think ahead that this would be a good idea? Yes, but I don't tie hard timelines to it. But in terms of where do I see things go for our organization, there's a vacuum in the market for, high-powered businesses that run with amazing cultures, that do what they say they're going to do, that don't churn and burn employees, that don't churn and burn clients, that deliver quality and consistently. There's just a vacuum in the market for it. So inevitably, the business just is going to grow and grow and grow. It's just the way it's going to be. We have extremely high retention. In Florida, we have like 100% retention for almost 4 years in a row now. All we're doing is growing. And up north, we have, 99% retention. I mean, it's crazy retention with clients.
I'm just going to say, are you talking employee retention or clients? Because they kind of go hand in hand, right? Usually, if you're keeping your employees, your customers are seeing the same person all the time,
correct.
People.
Correct. So, so what's going to happen is that when you do good work and we're dealing with corporate buyers who operate in other markets and have opportunities in other markets, the networking that I do through social media, specifically LinkedIn, where everybody knows me from, creates a lot of opportunities. I mean, you'd be amazed how many people have contacted me and they want to sell me their company across the country. like dozens and dozens of people. And I guarantee you, some of these people, everyone listening to this, they know these companies. These are name brand companies that want to sell, but they don't want to sell to private equity. So, where I see it going is this. This is kind of the boiled down business plan. I'll give it to you. It's very simple. At the core, we're a snow removal company. That's what we are. Everything else we do wraps around snow. So we will continue to grow and expand our snow removal business footprint into strategic markets. We will look at acquisitions in the Midwest. We will look at acquisitions in New England. And eventually we will be in a lot of the strategic snow markets. We may be in your market one day, right? Now, everything that happens secondary to that is to support that first initiative. So, I've been pretty vocal about taking cash that spins off of northern operations and pushing it down into the tropics for diversification. So the company can be diversified and so that we can build a strong bench that supports, corporate and administrative overheads and R&D type capital that we can have cash flow coming off of the tropics, whether or not we have hits in the Northeast or frankly, any other snow market we go into. So if I boil it down to that, yes, it's to continue to grow and expand our snow footprint, our capabilities there. We will be in other markets. People ask me, how on earth can you put East Coast facilities in the Midwest? And I ask them how, Southwest Airlines has a hub in Atlanta, and has a hub in St. Louis, by the way, so it just doesn't matter. It's a brand. But yeah, we will expand and we'll play nice in the sandbox with the rest of the, the top shelf companies that perform for their customers, and the ones that don't, we're going to borrow some of their people and clients, along the way.